Okay, parallel corners. And 37 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 37 and 37. Awesome. Awesome. So this is my other lathe that I want to show you something on. I'm going to use the saddle and the apron controls, obviously, to profile, if you will, profile the way here. Now, the problem with this is it's nice to get a profile, right? But the problem with you chasing that micro there is that the saddle distributes its load over the total width of the saddle. It doesn't have the ability to climb into micro thousandths of an inch as this gauge does. So this is where you're getting false craziness going after a thousandth, half a thousandth, things like that. It's the entire saddle distributing its load. You could take a nick out of one of these things and the saddle can bridge it. So when you see nicks and things like that, it's nothing to go crazy about. Make sure it's not pushing your saddle up. But a nick will not. Any saddle, I've never found a saddle so small that it would climb down into a thousandths hole. Four, 5. 4, 5. You see it? I come the other direction. It might be friction grabbing it, but we'll see. 4, 5. I'll go dial it slowly. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. Pretty straight, right? It has a half a thou right there. So here's the deal with this. You have to put it on the wear surfaces. That's not, it's more like a guide, this area, this other way over here. The bottom is the wear surface. That's what you want to get your reading off of. So I'm at 1.5. And let's go, let's wobble a little bit. Yeah, it's out here. It's extended out where it's got a mechanical leverage going on, messing up my, try to get this tight and secure. If you can get it locked and down twice, it's the way to go. It's got a mechanical leverage going on where it can be a lot more sensitive. 1, 1.5, 1.5, stable at 1.5, and I'm going slower this time. 1.5, and I'm way out where I'm not gonna be machining. Well, I can machine out there where I typically do not. 1.5, 1.5. It's just beautiful, right? 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. I'm getting near the tailstock now. There's a tailstock up here. So let's come back the other direction. Let's see if I can do it without picking up too much debris to getting underneath my needle, my tip, and give me a false reading. So let's see if I want to ideally come right up to the chuck. 1.5, and I'm getting a little aggressive now. I gotta slow it down. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Just calling it out for you. 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and I'll get you see it if we can. Cross section of it. I'm just giving you a fast idea. I wanted to do this for a guy in England I saw was working on his ways rather. on his lathe, on his waylays, on his waylay. So that's what I want to share with him, and also how he can use his own bed and the cross slide to literally give the real reading that he's going to be working with. Now let's bounce over to the other lathe and let's take a look at it. I'm going to call this one quick lathe tip for checking your lathe. Now this is off because I've been fine-tuning everything, saddle, etc. But let's just talk about something here. Down here on the bed, well, I don't want to move my setup first. Let me jump to this. So you see we're at 5,000s. We're at 5,000s over there. Now this is loose because it's, well, I don't have it secured. I tag things when they still need to be worked on, so things are being tagged. And so let's just do it this way. 5,000s. Now if I had a tool on here, tool post, it would be different. But right now, without the tool post, let's go ahead and slide this over. We're at 5,000s, and let's just slide it that range right there. Came back to 5,000s. So I've got 5,000s on this end and 5,000s on this end. 5 10,000s, half a thou. So if I got a half a thou here and I put the tooling on here, that's probably going to be level, even though it's got a slight dip there. So I can knock off a half a thou right here and a half a thou here and come up with another level. But I don't have my tool post on. Putting a tool post on would give me another result. And this is not all tied down yet. I don't have everything there, so I won't touch it yet. I just want to give you like a tip. Again, so we slide it this way, and you see it's half a thou. I just use that. This is literally the working area that I'd be working in that I really could care about if this was the area, if that was a stick out, if you will, from the collet. Probably in closer, but I can't do that because I've got part of the carriage of the apron in the way. So, but you can do this jumping all the way down. So you bring it here, here's your half a thou. Now, bunny hop this over here, reset it. 47, let me just reset it. Roughly 2.5 is my preload, 2,500. So sliding it over again. And now some contours in this, no big deal. I care about the general, the general of it. So there's like 2 thou, where's it 2.5? There's 2. I slide over, there's 1, and there's 2 again, 3.5 if I go way out there. This obviously is not flat. This tooling here is not totally flat. I can check it this way and you can see that it's not, well, it's got cuts in it. And the cuts can act like an oil lubrication or whatever. It doesn't matter because the tooling goes on top of this. I do care about the cross sliding. That's another tip, another video. But you can see that if we do this, let's just drift this over a little bit. Let's take another one for an average. We're at 11.5 preload. 10.5, 11.5, same difference probably. And pressing down on this, it now is showing like 9.5. So that's 1,000ths off if we were at 10. Well, there's 8.5. Let's start over again. 0. Pop it up just for the heck of it. Feel a little tension on it. I'm at 3.5. 3.5, slide over. Ideally, I like to see 3.5 again. I'm at 3.5. So again, the two heights, it's consistent. That my high spots on this tool post, on this slide is equal at each end. So bouncing again, what this is showing is that the ways are pretty flat. The ways are pretty flat. So let's go ahead and move that over to there, probably that much, because it's as much as I can get this guy under. So the overlap is there. Reset, pull it, test it. I'm at 8.5, 7.8. It's bouncing around. 7.8, 6.5. Wish it makes up its mind. Let's see if you guys are there. Alright, you're just going to trust my words on it. So it's like 7 right now. Sliding it over. Ideally, we want to see 7 on the other end. 6.5 thou. Popping, going the other direction. 7.5. And friction and all that's kind of a pain to do this, but you got to deduct for how you got to deduct. 1,000th. 1 thou. If it was out here. But you and I know we're never going to be out here pretty much with a small lathe like this. There's 6. And I don't have the tooling on yet, so the tooling would be more consistent. But you're getting my drift of what we're doing here. That's half a thou. So half a thou, I'm not chasing half a thou. I won't chase that. I won't chase that. Now, this tooling still needs a lot of adjustment. This tooling does. So as I take it off, take this off, I got the one side flat. There, this is parallel, this has been printed, and now this is not. So then I'll get this squared up now. These are, all 4 corners here need to be knocked down. Not this. These guys are perfect from the foundation up. So now these 4 corners need to all be parallel from here. And that's just a matter of shaving, shaving, shaving. That's 4, 5, so that's high. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. I'm happy with 4, 5. The 5 low, I'm not, it's okay. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. Half a thousandths now. Mark. That's a high point. Magic marker. 2. 3, 5. That's a 3, 5. Mark and you know, map it. 3, 5. I'm reaching. Oh, well, that was nice. Told you I don't have it locked down. You'd have to lock this down when you're doing it. There's 3. I think we crossed 2, 5. Then we're taking it off the top of here to see the parallelism of these two, because this ultimately where it reflects to, right here. This reflects to here. I don't feel any cuts in it. Just so you know, when first things first, I feel for cuts. Use your finger. No gloves, no scraper needed. Use your finger. Now some of this junk out here is junk. Remove that, and you can do that with a light scraper. It's not gonna do any harm to it. If you do snag something, then you know it was that it was something that could mess you up also, snag you. But that's just junk. Part of metal shavings and everything else probably. I don't feel it in my hand though. So I'm a razor blade freak when it comes down to this. I use a pair of magnifying glasses, and I use a razor blade, and I scrape. And I evaluate the flatness, what's going on. And you can literally see the pattern. If you were going to do printing this would do it. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I mean, it's pretty, she's pretty flat. I'm using the back of the blade. I can use the razor blade part also. Now, I feel a little, no, I probably just turned the blade in too deep. I look for chatter too. When I'm pulling this, if I hit something, it will chatter, it'll leave a chatter mark. I feel no chatter mark. I don't see a chatter mark. No lines. It's just flat. Just flat. Let's see if we can find a chatter mark up here for you. I cannot. This is a lot of tooling and things just been dropping on it. You can hit that with the grunt. You can hit that with your. You can knock that down if you want. Now this will leave diamonds in here, so you clean it up. But you can knock this down if you want. It's not riding on that, it's riding on the base here. So this is just, you know, making it so anything high doesn't snag my slide there. Now wipe and feel. Fingertips, fingerprints, let them work. I feel a lot of grit in there. Could be the diamonds. Now I don't. Same thing here. A lot of grit. See if I can get lucky. I use brake cleaner on it. It's oil. I use brake cleaner, but right now this is acting as a great print, a profile. It's profiling it for me, so I get to see what it looks like. No chatter marks. I'm really happy with that. Now let's see if I can get lucky and get this back in. This brass nut. That's the one that's going to take your play out. That brass nut. You get to it by that hole that says oil hole, and I loosen that hole up, and it will drop down. It will become loose, drop down, and let me have at it. The thing about that brass nut is that it says oil on it, and it has a little screw between there, and it looks like an oil hole. I had a brass screwdriver out here. There we go. So a little brass screwdriver goes in there. Pull out the little screw. Let me put the screw aside. That gets turned out. Then you're able to set that brass screw will then grab. Right now the brass screw is too high. It's higher than... Alright. So that's pushed down that brass screw a little bit, but I still have a problem with this guy wanting to grab. See how it jumped up? Come on. Don't dry your tools off. If you keep oil on there, they won't rust. So I just want to feel this go in and out. Checking the backlash. So one of the ways to check the backlash is I want it to be flat when you really do this. Spin it, rotate it, preload it, put it on in the same plane to get the true backlash. Check it. It's about 2.5 my starting point. I'm on 0 here, and let's go clockwise. And I want to see it move just a half thou maybe. Alright, just move the half thou. And this just moved, this is a 200 scale. So I just move 1, 2, 3. So it's half of whatever you're used to doing. So it's not 3 thous, it's 1.5 thousandths backlash to the right. Going clockwise. Now going the other direction without preloading it first, just going from there to see when it next moves. Let me 0 it first. So I 0 back to 0, my little punch mark. I look at my gauge and I want to see it just move a half thou. Just move the half thou, and I move 3 again. So it's beautifully balanced right now. It's a shame because it doesn't count, because I'm still taking this down some more. But it's beautifully balanced right now. There's a 1.5 thousandths backlash. I mean, that's awesome, and it feels good. Let me and it feels good. I can handle that. Of course, if you were freehanding, rotating it in, that would be not very enjoyable. But you would get a beautiful, smooth feeling out of it. It wouldn't take much for you to get used to that, turning it. And you'd only have 1.5 thousandths backlash, which is predictable in both directions, which is awesome. So if you want to do 10 thousandth in, you just went the other way, you'd make it 11.5. But remember, this is a double, this is 200. So 11.5 would be 23. So you can get screwed up if you don't pay attention to what you're working with. So 23 thousandths would be my 11.5. This had a line in it. All right, so this has been surfaced. I surfaced this guy with the diamonds. 5. Yeah, it doesn't like this. It's picking up junk or whatever it's doing. Yeah, I just hit something there. 6.5. So there's 5,000, It jumps around a little bit, and there's my 5,000. So that's perfect right there, as far as being in plane in this little groove section here. I just move it down, move it around. But let's go slide this down and get a bigger tack on it. Hopefully, I'm right between those two right there. That'd be nice, right? 1.5. Well, wow, it's jumped from half a thousand to 6.5, 6, 7. Come on. 4,000. Let's just go with that. I'm just getting a little worn out. 2.5, 3. Whatever. Give me whatever you want to give me. Did I go over 2.5, 3.5, 3, 3, 3.5? Remember, 3.5 is deeper. So over here is 3.5, half a thou. But my plate stops right here in this line. You see the line? So the profile stops there. There's 4. Let's run over to the other side. And there's 3.5. But this will still get, I'll still do some more to this, I think. I think I'll still give this some more loving. I'll check it again for parallelism, making sure that's parallel from there to there. Trying out a new stone on my surface grinder. I might put it on this. I just like the hand job though. I like the hand work. You know, here's the 100, and it's simple as this is where it rotates from. This is the high spot here. This is a pain right here. This part here, it's not. It's a bit of a pain because it spins around on there. So I don't mind if that's low, but this I do care. This I do care. This is where it spins from. This matters too, but right now, I've checked this already. I know it was high there. I've got to work on it. And so what I do is, let me show you. It doesn't matter if these are off because you're just using them as a test gauge. So don't get crazy if measuring these to see if they're okay. So this is 15 thou. So 15 thou won't go under. See? That's nice. All the way around I check it. And then I move it just a crumb for in rotation. Check it again. Oops, I had two of them together. There's 15 thou by itself. 15 10,000. And that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Watch what happens though as I rotate it just a little bit more. Well, I'm still good. But if you rotate again, at some point I'm going to hit that low point, low point that I got to knock off, and maybe I just knocked it off. I don't know. Oh, it's when this back end comes around. I've been working on this. So rotate again. Still 15 thou. At some point though, this is going to get pretty nasty for me, unless I just hit it off. All right, so there's 15 thou sliding in now. Not up to here though. This is still tight. That's good. So 15 thou sliding in right there. That means this is high, and this is now low. I guess I hit it kind of heavy. Or it's being lifted up in the back. And that's what I've determined. How do you do that? It's kind of weird. Let's get in there first. So look how much I can slide it in. I can slide it in, I'll butt something. It will slide over, and it butts right about there. And I come the other direction, and it's all loose. And I slide it over, and it butts right there. So it's between this section and where these two meet is where I have a high point that's making this raise up. I need more lighting to do it. I'm not going to play with it tonight because I'm very close. Now it's on here, right there, or it's on the back of this, right here. So, or it could be a combination of both, that where the two of them meet. So how you start eliminating that is, I'll move it over here. And let's see if it does the same thing. If that was a spot there, well then I should be good to go, except for look. Goes right under, up, right back to there again. But this time the spot moved. So that means it's on this guy that's still high, humped right there. A little bit of drag. Look as I rotate this. You now see the print. You see the beautiful, beautiful print of it as you rotate it. It's got great coverage. You see the oil, anything will work. And there's the oils. Those are high spots, but they're consistent and they're nice. And you know, the machine, this doesn't rotate that much. You don't rotate it forever. But so far so good, except for out here, we're getting nothing. But we do get a hit. I can even feel it. I can even feel a stick right there as I come in. And then it looks like this is low. But in reality, this guy is pushing off. This one's too thick right there. And it's hitting right there. You can feel it. It's come to a stop. Same thing this direction. So right about there on this is the issue. So use your own tooling to determine what's going on. And now I can make it give a half a swipe, a recess into it, this guy. and I could find where it's high. And it is. It is right about there somewhere. But look at the tooling. Look how beautiful that is. This, you know, once you put the tooling fully on it, this has got grit on it too. You can feel the grit. That doesn't touch base though. It doesn't touch down. This does, but this is an indicator too that you're not quite. It's floating still. It's hydroplaning, so it's still an indicator that you might still be kind of high here. That you might want to lower this down still. Again, measurements. Mic this and creep up to it very nicely with some diamonds. So right about here somewhere. So let me, before I go, I use a magnifying glass to find it. I won't. This one I won't just throw a stone at. These are so nicely ground. They look how flat they're sticking to each other. So they're a perfect grind as far as I'm concerned for what we're doing here. So I love the razor blades. These are the break. Well, that's what happens. You break them. They're the breakaway kind. So they're cheap. You get a bunch of them, and they're perfect. For me, they're perfect gauge. Oops. Perfect gauge. Very cheap. Disposable. So don't have to worry about sharpening and all this other junk. They got a nice length to them. And I think the blade's over here, the other one. I usually put it on the track. So this one might be already chipped up. I don't know. But I'll use magnifying glasses, get down here and work my way to the edge and literally see the highest point. And I can feel it already. I can feel it already dragging. So I can literally say it's right here. Right there. That one I could hit now that I literally just did that for you. So this is the 100 harder diamonds. So, just a little bit of scratch. Use my finger. Let's get that blade again. And let me get on my glasses I just mentioned. Don't worry about all that printing stuff at this time. You get down in there, you get yourself a light, and you start looking at that blade, and you bring it over, and you literally will see your high spots. And you can even feel where it's grabbing with your blade. Like, I thought I had it, but you see me, this right here, it's actually holding up on the edge. So I'll have to knock that edge down just a little bit. And now she's low right here, but I don't care about that being low because the rest is pretty much flat. And now let's use the blade to go across that oil and we'll drag it. And as you see, I didn't pull that oil. So that means it's high on the outside. We rotate it. Same thing here. Now I'm running across the numbers on the outside of this thing too. These numbers are raised here. They're a little burry. They're giving me a little chatter. But right here, high spot. But I'll be sure that, to be sure that I get some more black. Paint it. Paint it black. Use your fingers. Paint it black. You can change blades out if you're worried, but here's the blade again. I observe, I watch, and if it's not plowing all that moisture, all that fluid over, I know where it's low and high. So I can literally see now that it skipped over here. Over here it drug it pretty nice, so this should be okay. I'd mark this as just needing a nice little brush of stone. Paint it black again. Clean it up with your finger there a little bit. If you did this on your table, you'd have to worry about these diamonds doing some damage. If you did it on your surface table. But here we go again. Same thing, blade, razor blade, drag it. Still high on the outside. Doing real good here. Still high here. So let's see what I have here. Where's my other diamond? Got the, oh yeah, this is the diamond I like. So, one more time. That little corner there, and a little bit right there. You can just take a peek real quick without coating it. Sometimes I can get a nice idea. All right, yep. No, that's going to need a coat to check. You're just getting close. Remember, I'll use this down here to check it too. It's a custom surface table for this. But right now, let's do this. Alright, so I already know it's... Ooh. Visually, I thought it was high right there, but it just pulled. Let's stop. Do you see the line? How nice that line is? So it's flat. It's running flat. Not there, I thought, but I guess I'm wrong. I like it. Let's have a little fun. Let's have a little fun now. Let's go ahead and mark this guy off. Now it's got a nice suction to it. I spin it around, looking at it, and I mean, those lines are beautiful. Those lines, I look at it with my magnifying glass down here. I mean, the depth is beautiful on these. The striations, you know, the lines are even beautiful. You know, I can't argue that at all. This is where it's most of the contact point is there. I mean, that's freaking beautiful. As you can see, it's pretty consistent. This should be the idea of people printing them, you know, doing your things. But remember, let's do this now. Let's break it up into a few points. And I'm only going to do a partial turn. So now I didn't go past those things there. Let's take another look. And it did create lines over my fingerprint, which over my mark. That's nice. The striations look nice again. I'd give this a nice almost pass right about now on the base. Feels good. Doesn't feel like it's sticking like they did a moment ago. So you break out your little gauges again. Let's see how we're doing. Now it's not going under. You saw it now, it's not going under, and as I rotate around, that's flat. So I got verification with my lines and also with the 15 10,000ths gauge. Let's start from this side. And I'm checking it all the way around. A little low right there. It feels like it's not going, you know, a little bit more than it did. I have to make sure I don't cock it either. But here we go. I'm rotating. So now I know it's not doing anything crazy on it. It's not kicking up the saddle, the tooling. All right, sweet, sweet. Now I check it all the way around. Yep. So now that's good to go. There's nothing else to do with that. I can play with it all I want. There's nothing to play with. It's done. I mean, that's it. There's no magic to it. It's just you matter taking on data and attacking the data how you can. Yeah, it might be scary the first time you start grinding at this, right, with some diamonds. It's the lowest point that matters to you. You want to care about the lowest number is actually the highest number is what I meant. Let's see if I can pull this over and see what kind of data we get from it. We already know it's flat, but for the principle of it, let's take a shot. Maybe my hold on, reset. I don't know what it's going to do. 4, 9, 3, 3, 3. Okay, let's go sideways with it. I'm already tapped out. Sorry for that. I bumped it and it went up in the air. Let me slide over some. Let's try this direction. But keep in mind that these low spots are going to throw me off. These little divots inside there. So don't get crazy when you see a couple numbers jump up, because a couple of scars are in there, if you will. They won't jack up the thing, the whole plate, because it gets bridged by this tool when it comes around. Not that little thing is not something this tool is going to be following in and out. It's not a pinpoint like this thing is here. So don't get too crazy with this thing. It would be better if we had a flatter than this needle. If we had a flatter surface to check from with this, something more consistent like that. But where are you going to use it? So let's see. We're at 2,000 roughly. So 1 thou. Now let's go this direction. 1.5 thou and 1.5 thou. All right, so it had that little divot. It dogged me on. Has a 1/2 thou, and let's slide it again. And there's 1/2 thou. That's it. This is now parallel. If I start sliding this down and get new numbers, don't start grinding on this. You got to think of somewhere else now. Where else is off would probably be the way down below. But remember, this way down below has a huge surface. Oh, I'll zoom out. It has a huge surface to ride on, so it's not going to be going in and out either. It's going to have the average of this whole distance. This doesn't flex. This is not flexing. So it's got a huge section. So don't chase little spots. Don't go around going crazy and chasing stuff. Let's bring this up. Let me lock that in. Let's do the cross slide again. This time I'll do it down here on the. Now I might be get into a groove or something. There's some grooves here on this. So don't get crazy about it. This is not the tooling that comes on here. Doesn't ride every micro inch. Right? It rides on a huge foot base. 1/5. Let's roll it in. 1/2 thou. So that's 1 thou off. Whatever get the gauge is, how accurate the gauge is. We're only going to go in so much. We're at 0. So this should be the high point. 0. Coming back. There's the low point way out here. Okay, yeah, I just need to get out of that one little rut. Because now you see it's reading solid 0. Nothing. But we're at this point. This is pretty parallel. But I'm not sure. I might have to still check this between here and here to work on that. Let's go with. All right, so that's the final on that one. Matt, these are parallel. I checked this with the. I checked this with the surface table. They're parallel now. And so if this passed, this is now parallel with that. But this is not parallel with this. These guys are out of parallel. They're kind of sloppy. They need to get paralleled up. But they get a tooling on top of them. So that's another game altogether. Let me see if I can grab that tooling real quick. A tooling. The final tip for this video. This tool pull, everything's loose here. It's not anchored down. You know, nothing's on the gibs, not on properly. But I'm going to slide this saddle sideways. I'm going to slide the saddle. You see 20,000ths of an inch. That's a preload. And as I slide it with that range off the top of this tooling, it's pretty squared. Well, let's do. Yeah, I moved it a little bit. 22. It's got some oil in it. Here's 22. I'll slide it left and right. You're going to see no change. 22. 22 thou, 22 thou. And slide it back again, 22 thou. So, yeah, there's some oil drag, things like that. Want to change the number sometimes, but it'll corrupt it. So this is perfect within that range there. Now, I can slide this, I'll pop it off. Let's see, 34 thou, 34 thou, 34 thou, 34 thou, 34 thou. You see it back and forth, what I did there? So it doesn't matter what everything else is doing. This is 34 thou. Now, give me a second here. Put that. 21,000 cross slide check. So there you see it. Still got to finish cleaning up. Still finish cleaning up, prepping up. Everything's been serviced. This is going to get redone. And she's going to be ready to go. So I'm going to leapfrog from the left, right of the table down to the left. And that you'll see me actually, I'm relocating it. You're seeing that it's a half a thou is what you have. And the entire table, half a thou. But not just a table. Remember, this still gets a tooling on top, so it's, you know, you might not even see that half thou. And here I am back there, but I've got to move that carriage. It's in the way. So I'm not sure if I did. Yeah, I think I did move the carriage, and here it is jumping forward now. And so here it is. So you're looking at each setting 33.5, and then I'm about. Oh, no, I got to move the carriage. Okay, keep bumping into it. All right, I think I moved it now. And we know that to be the apron. All right, so I'll just preload. That's just a high preload. And sliding over, 162.5, 162.5. Remember, this pin will chase points up and down. So 162.5, and I slid off the back end. But I'm already at the end at that point. I'm already into the collar. So that would be the termination of that. Go back and look at it. You see how beautifully set up this tool is now. Also, you're seeing how the base is now machined, tooled, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Still a few more things I'm gonna tweak on it, but this is what I'm putting forward. I guess I'm running it one more time for the heck of it. I guess. Let's see what happens. 226.5 right here in the tool in this working area. Pretty much we're gonna work 226.5. 226.5, and I have to hold it down. Here's a half thou, but I'm already inside my oh, this popped off. I keep popping off. I think I remember that. It was quite frustrating as I was trying to show the camera. So you get to look at it over and over again. This section, you at least see confidence, repeatability, and let's see, preload 7.5. So this gauge is so. All right, 7.5. 7 thou, it's half thou, and I could be jumping down in a rut or something, so you see me move it. Remember, the whole surface counts, not just one track. 7.5, 7.5, 6, 6.5. So you're getting the idea. And there's 7.5, and let's move it again. Remember, the base fits over entire surface. So if any of you guys doing this for yourself, remember that. Don't chase one line. You might be in a line. You might be in a bad track. There's a half a thou right there. So I'm going to end the video. Excuse me for choking. And I backed it up. Literally backed the slide up. And you see it's nailing a half thou. All right, hopefully that's pretty cool for you. So here are just some images I was working on. I just took a few of them, showing like that. That's not a surface area that slides on. So don't worry about those dings there. Surface areas, that's not it. That's not the riding area. But still, nevertheless, I cleaned it up somewhat. Just showing some four shots. The apron is being, I'm doing something with the apron to tighten it up, the tolerances. I'm actually getting a new case put on with bearings, so that takes care of the whole surface there. All right, yeah, this is going to be pretty bad, pretty awesome.